I'm with Freddie Solomon. Windward Terrace. Okay. Is that because on this side of the island there's always wind blowing?
Yeah, exactly that. I went back and forth with the names, Keith, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Always gracious host to invite me, and good to be here with you today. And the name was going back and forth of how we do, but then we sat on this deck one day, and the wind, certain time of year, that east wind, as we call it in the islands, was slapping us in our face. And I know when I was a kid and going back, this plays into what we're going to probably talk about as we go along, as far as my heritage and the islands and when it was innocent. But when you were walking up the road, you was going to windward. And then you're going down, they say to leeward, but they meant to leeward. Well, that's the term for boats. When the boats is headed into the wind, they're going windward. And when the wind is behind them, and all you captains out there, correct me if I'm wrong, it's pushing you. It's the leeward. So I wanted to play back on the heritage, and I wanted to definitely be the working name was Las Terrazas, but I got so many hitbacks that name should be English and heritage. So we and it just snapped windward. I wanted to be windward.
Well, and it's got a positive meaning to it if you're nautical enough to understand it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When I first came here, this was nothing.
Right.
It was a spot on top of a hill.
Right.
Where there were a few shacks that were selling T-shirts.
Exactly.
And probably, they did okay on cruise ship days. But it needed to be developed in the right way, because if you do what some people do, they stack straight up.
Exactly.
In my opinion, it's great for space. It's an eyesore, and it doesn't fit the property. But the way you've laid it out, it slopes on top of the slope going down. And people say, you look at that space and it doesn't look like anything's there. And in a way, to me, that's kind of a positive, because it's not obtrusive. There are buildings around here that are.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. We were very purposeful in deciding how we're going to do. You're right. I walked up here one day. Shout out to my father-in-law, Duberty Banks. This was his property, and he sold it to me. I use that term loosely, but he trusted me with the vision that I would develop into something. And I traveled the world. I've been all over the world. I've been all over Thailand. I've been all over the world. And you could see these kind of things. And sometimes what I get mad at or bothers me is that people travel the world, see these examples of what could go over 10, and then they choose to do those ISOs that you mentioned. So we were purposeful in trying to meet the moment. How do you be different? How do you take advantage? How do you be creative? And it's not about money, sometimes it's just about your imagination to apply. So I got a shout out again, my architect, Gio, it's Nardi McNabb. And it was his thing. It was this old staggered thing was his. My point was to build a building and bring the deck straight out. But he says, dude, let's work with terrain. And each one of the interconnecting kiosks, if you will, would be like steps. And then he did a design, and I was like, wow, you hit the mark. I threw some stuff in there, but it was him who's saying, let's work with the flow. And we wanted to create. Now we have a view. We have a vantage point or a platform. How do we create a destination now? How do people want to come and enjoy that view that's probably...
Well, you and I are sitting here looking out at a cruise ship that's parked right in Cox and Hull.
Right.
And
we can see Carnival from here too.
Everything. And we see the airplanes come in, which is, by the way, it's kind of breathtaking.
Well, it is.
You could sit out here on the deck and watch the planes land.
You feel like you're on a rooftop bar, or rooftop.
But without the distractions.
Yeah.
The one thing I like about the architecture that has been developed over years on the island is the use of the natural wood.
All right.
This is a good and a bad thing, because, as you know, as a builder, the wood has to be very well maintained to stay around. Now, it'll last forever if it's taken care of.
The upkeep is there, versus concrete.
But the concrete takes away, as concrete's cold.
Yeah.
It's great for certain types of things, but it really wouldn't fit here.
No, and the concept was concrete. And then we were like, no, we got to go with wood. So, and with the thinking that, you're going to have the proper upkeep. I don't know if you're here today. This building was finished And when I say finished, April, May of last year. And guys are here staining, touching up stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a constant thing because I wanted to maintain a certain standard. I am meticulous about coming back to my island, coming back not just as giving back in a social and the Rotary and all these organizations that we're part of, but to give back as an entrepreneur, to grow and to create a certain degree of professionalism. Sergeant Rico's SAI is a brand that I'm slowly trying to build, and this is the launch of that. And we have to make sure we get it right and we don't mistake. We want to be known as professionals. You shake my hand, his word means something. He delivers. He interacts with you as a customer, and he makes sure that you're taken care of. Every interaction has to be special. I want them when they interact with me and my wife or my organization. So I can go on forever about this. So please tell me to slow down.
Let's talk about your ties to the island. You and I were talking earlier about the name Baden and Solomon and
Ebanks. Yeah.
And so I looked it up because I'm like, where's that from? And the first known use of Bowden was actually in Normandy.
Really?
So that was before the English took over. And then it's Leicester, which is a big city where they add the spelling Bodde.
Oh, wow.
First time that was done. So it's an English name. A lot of people here lived here. Their grandparents and great grandparents were English that settled on the island and have lived here for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I go all over. I go from the Solomons, which were African descent, heritage, came from Cayman Islands. If anybody is on the island, sign in Solomon, there's a cousin of mine. There's only one Solomon on Roatan, because there may be some other different E-banks or something like that. And then so yes, that heritage matters. My grandmother, father's side came from Junesville. So there's that mixture. And my wife is an E-banks from Santa Bay. I think her grandfather, Mr. Robert, originally from Banaka, and there's all of that. And now that we take a assumption a little bit of some things to make a difference, to grow a legacy, we owning that. We're not running from that. We know the responsibility, and we're native islanders, and we want to take that to another level, or not another. We just want to make sure that we're caretakers of that legacy, and that we don't lose it. There's a lot of great organizations here that are making sure that we keep our heritage, and we want to be part of that in our entrepreneurship and our growth. We don't think this is going to be the final project. I think we kind of think about another one coming in the pipeline.
Yeah.
But first things first.
Yeah.
Windward Terrace is first things first.
Yeah. Well, you want to tie in and teach. I believe there's three different parts of a life. There's learning, there's earning, and then there's fraternity.
No.
That's okay. That's expected.
Yeah.
So let's talk about heritage.
Right.
You want to give back to the island community, and there are a lot of islanders that feel the same way. Mm. For a long time, nobody really wanted to be on this island.
No.
I mean, you think about it, 40 years ago, it was a whole different ballgame. The life was a much easier life in some ways. You didn't have a lot, but you could get what you needed pretty close by. You could go fishing. You could do what you did and work in bartering kind of a community.
Right.
And then the dive industry came over, and all of a sudden there was a need for other skills that did not exist here.
Right.
And to bring those skills up to a level where it could work, they had to import people, which left islanders out.
Yeah.
And this is where you and I talk a lot about education. We work with Dr. Charles, who's a big guy, about trying to get this going on. It gives a chance to give back and train people so that they can show, hey, there is some way of moving forward, and it's not all going to be taken away from us. Yeah. But you do have to work at it.
You have to work at it, and you have to build the infrastructure and the base to get there. I mean, I think Mr. Mil Rivers posted something, or we had a conversation about it. Shout out to him. We've been friends forever, and he's doing great things too. But he mentioned of there has to be a certain degree of, whether it's a electrician trade school, plumbing trade school, Roatan is growing, and those skill set are missing. My job, as I felt, is to I came from Roatan. I literally, my father reverse migrated all his American kids to Roatan. And I went to Juan Groups from 1st to 4th grade, and then I went back. And I went back, and I grew, and I learned, and I matured. I stumbled, and I got myself up, keep going, and growing in life. So at this point, I feel like, well, I have a certain degree of management skills, and that I can tell you how to get there. We're great if you're a salary, great. There's a whole service, and it needs that. But there's a lot of us that needs to be owners as well. We need to own our deal. And how do you get there? How do you project? How do you put in the process and the procedures to get there? How do you have the discipline and go forward? It's not, this is 3 or 4 years of me and my wife saying, we're going to plan this out. We're going to knock it out. Our budget going to be this. We're not going to spend this. We're going to do this. We have this. I could go back to the state and sit on my senior master sergeant or a CNTO salary and says, boom, I'm good. I got VA loans for myself. I'm VA pension and what have you, and I could just sit back and eat well and smoke a decent cigar. But I choose.
And you like those?
I choose to come back here to give back. And if you know all my brothers and sisters, I was the least one to expect to come back because I was the most Americanized one, being in the service for 25 years. So yes, I use that word purposeful. My purposeful in my giving back. I'm purposeful in sharing my knowledge, sharing my experience, sharing my expertise. But you have to want it. We have to be a partner in I'm giving, you accepting, and we go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a great space. You've got many places down the road. You're going to be developing more. Some of these spaces are available, and there may be somebody out there, entrepreneur, looking for an idea, needing a good space that would be a good addition. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, email address is Freddie@sergeantricos.com. It's easy. My Gmail address, Freddie@sergeantricos.com. We also are on Instagram. You could DM me there and send me messages there. We have a Facebook page. And then I could give you my phone number, contact me directly. And on our walls here, we have the unit available in the poster and contact information here. We have to mention we have Coleman Bakery sweet shops coming in a branch that's going to be here, and they're going to be bringing their product to here to get closer to a lot of customers that are here, right, and doing what the sweet shop has done there. It's a 40-year-old organization.
They make one of the best key lime pies that I've ever had.
Well, you'll be able to get it.
And now I don't have to drive to the middle of the island now.
There you go. We have Prime 504, great steakhouse, decided to put a second branch here. Milo and Kerry McNabb are great partners. They're working with us as we grow, and we're helping them grow. And then Keller William, who is a renowned, Anna Flores and her team are just doing their thing in the realtor business. This space out here would probably be great for a place to have a great wine or a coffee or sit back, sit out. We got connectivity all around. So if you want a workspace with your computer, was here. We have free Wi-Fi. We have it all. We have great facilities. This place is maintained immaculately, purposefully with our folks that come here every day, take care of the space and make sure it's done right. So, as we grow, but we're looking for a combination of clients that complement everybody else, because we can't have 5 souvenir stores, for example.
Right.
I mean, shout out to the souvenir stores trying to make a living.
Sure.
But we have to have it diverse, so we want to make it blend. And then this space out here that we're sitting at will be where we'll have live music on Sundays and do stuff.
Well, if the audience is watching can see, we're sitting here and it's mid-afternoon, say 3 o'clock roughly, and it's calm. There's a nice small breeze blowing. Yeah. We're out of the sun. We're sitting on these nice. Gio did a really good job of looking at how to build this, so that it takes advantage of the natural area. I mean, that's what a really good architect does.
Right, and because I'm giving plugs to folks. Jungle Water. If I'm saying right, the designer.
Jungle Water.
Yeah, yes. They were our consultant.
She's great.
Amazing. Yeah. She came in here and told us that, as you can see, it's green, and probably a natural tendency is to say, go with the tan colored couches and stuff. And she decided to say, no, do a little black and white and make it a little different, not be predictable and make it flow. And at first I was, the easy button is this color,
Yeah, the easy button. But I have recommended her to a couple of friends.
Yeah,
I said, if you're going to redo your space for your condos that you're trying to rent, call her.
Right. Well,
take it out of your hands. You have taste.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, cowboy pictures with cowboy hats. That's kind of my thing. It's not going to work in Roatan in a condo.
So the team that I mentioned that played a part in giving us advice on how to go forward. I was looking for the brightest and the best and the people that respect the community, because again, you can cut corners and it reflects in the long run. You could, but me, my wife and I wanted to meet the moment purposefully, and meet the moments is my drumbeat words, because it was literally, that's how we approach things. And when we might have mind says, we can figure this ourselves, to your point, we go, I saw that jungle water lake, those folks online doing a great job of time. They're local folks. Let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Let them do their thing.
Yeah. You get that going on. The space is available, I'm sure, and if somebody's got a group or organization to have a meeting up here, it would be a great place to do that.
Thanks for the segue. A small event, a meeting, whatever. This space is available for that, we plan to accommodate. That's one intent, was to have you want to have a get together, you want to do something, that this deck is it can accommodate all that. Yeah.
Well, certainly it would be easy for having with Prime 504 upstairs to be able to handle catering for it.
Right.
Would this preclude somebody from bringing in their own catering?
No, I mean, no.
Okay.
No, it's a discussion they had.
Yeah.
There's a space usage, but I'm not trying to, I want the experience to be there, and I'm willing. Yes, definitely they can. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about the partnership. You and your wife worked on this. You mentioned for 3 years, and I'm sure you had this idea longer than that. How is that? How as a husband-wife team, as a partner, how is that working out?
Well, the thing about any team is to know your role.
Yes.
I'm going to get all the credit in this interview and this stuff of I'm the front man. I'm Mick Jagger. Okay, I'm Michael Jackson. Yeah. But the Quincy Jones of the joint, Quincy Jones,
that's your wife.
That's the wife.
Yeah.
She's the arranger. She's the one. I'm in Saudi most of the time.
Yeah.
And this wouldn't happen if I didn't have a great partner taking care of things here on the island.
Yeah.
So, and I purposely make sure that, I'm the cool guy. I'm the one that's on the front stage, but hello, I can't do anything without her, because I know that, and I know what she goes through. I know what she does. And we literally had that conversation. I'm gonna go Saudi. We're gonna plan, design. I'm gonna put progress. I'm a project manager by trade, so I'll do that part. But all the other stuff that we got to do here on the island to represent me, my representation, our representation, the company representation is you. And you have to go forward. So that's about it. Communication is key.
Yeah.
Because feelings, no feelings, there's no ego here. It's, you go do this, you go do this. What we doing now.
Yeah.
And I'll work my part angle, because I'm more comfortable in this role or that role. So it's all about that. Yeah.
As a man who's lived here most of his life, off and on, with the military and being transferred around, but you come back a lot.
Yeah.
That gives you some perspective, because when you do come back after you haven't been, like if I go to San Diego, I lived there for 25 years. There are things I noticed that changed a lot.
Yeah.
But there are also things I noticed that really didn't change drastically.
Yeah.
There are some consistencies. What have you seen being the biggest positive things happening on Roatan? Because I like to keep interviews positive.
Most definitely. Roatan is no longer a one-horse town. From when I was a kid. It has grown a lot. There's a cadre of professionals here now that I can relate to. I don't have to feel like I'm talking, or they feel like I'm talking over their head. They can meet me at the moment. And those are the people that is what's changed from before. There's a professional class that's growing here and growing, expanding. It might be still a smaller percentage than we'd like it to be, but it's growing. And so, that's a different Roatan, than it was 4 years ago. So I refuse to not elevate everybody around me to that, because I know where it's at.
Right.
And so my job is to say, I came back. I just come back to just have beers with the guys that at the bar at the airport, which is our guy at the airport.
Sure.
God bless him and may he rest in peace, Mr. Larry McLaughlin, if I take a minute to say that. But it's now to grow as a community. Grow as a community from all kind of angles and anything. I've been to Afghanistan, I've been to Iraq, I've been to Honduras and Palmarola. I went inner countries to schoolhouses and help do community service. And so why can't I? And now I want to do it dual track it. Community service / professional service or professional relationships. And that's getting to know folks. I don't want to be a brand, only a brand. I want to be a name of a person that you know, that you met with, that you shook a hand with, and you could say, you know, I know Rico, I know Freddie, you know, and I know how he operates, and that's my goal. Period is to have a respectful moment with the person, and when we leave that moment, we are better because of it.
You mentioned...
It sounds lofty, I know.
No, it's if you don't have a target, you never... It doesn't matter if you don't reach it.
We are better because of it.
You gotta have a target.
Yeah, we are better because of it, yeah.
You mentioned Larry McLaughlin and his brother Louie.
Yeah.
Really great guys, and they encouraged me when I came, and they believed in what I was doing, and they saw that it was a different whole presentation. I'm a serious radio broadcaster. My job, of course, being a serious radio broadcaster, is to relieve people of the pressure of thinking by giving them some music that they enjoy. Right. And in my case, really,
escapism,
I do horribly bad jokes. But so there was a gentleman I was speaking with, and we were talking about Roatan. And when I first came, I was questioning, why is Roatan seasonal at all? Mm-hmm. Because from late December through May, pretty consistent. And then May kind of falls off, comes back a little bit in June, does okay through September. September, it's a ghost town until November, late November. And I'm like, why is that? Why would that be that way? Because it's cold. It gets cold in the north early. And that's 3 months. So that's October, November, December. There's no reason for people not coming here. Second, during the summertime, Jamaica, the Bahamas, Cayman Islands, these places are packed with U.S. tourists that have money to spend, but they're not coming here. And it's like, why is that? And some people's attitude has been, well, that's just the way it's always been. And I'm not saying that tourism is good or bad, but I am saying that if I can give my kids a better life and I'm working and I'm a productive individual, I don't care what kind of business it is. I mean, as long as it's an honest work for an honest day's pay. And what is it going to take for Roatan, use your crystal ball, to get to that level?
I think, well, if you was to go back about 10 years ago, there was a ghost. Those drop off was even more
severe. When I first came, the first year I came, I was like, oh, wow.
And if I may, when I was a kid, and you said Roatan, Honduras, that was like saying a moon on Mars in New York. They had no clue what it exists. Now I could throw that name around a lot of people. Oh yeah, I had a cruise ship one day. Oh, I know Roatan. Oh, I dove there and what have you. And I think it's a growth. Roatan is growing. And there's a reason that all these infrastructure things are happening. There's a reason that Margaritaville wants to come in now, and Kempton and other organizations are coming there. But it's going to take a growth pattern to get there. So I think that eventually, airport expanding, service expanding, but none will matter if we don't have the customer base and the infrastructure to service stuff to meet that growth.
Right.
We're catching up. We're playing catch up for the last 15 years. And I had a discussion with a political official. I won't call names because it was not private, but I'll just say this much. They definitely acknowledge that the growth is the growth projection, because they do numbers and they go, okay, this year we're here, next year we're going to be here. And when they get to next year, they see it's exceeding that. And so it's all a catch up. So I would say give it another 4 or 5 years for a lot of these infrastructure projects and stuff that we're trying to do to catch up, to include universities coming here. You know, I'm very in tune with the political situation. I'm very in tune with what needs to be here now, and what it's going to take. And certain amount of sectors and individuals could be doing well, but if they don't make the trip, they don't lessen the gap between the who's doing extremely well and spreading the whole thing to include someone waking up there. I have a job. I can feed my family. I can educate my kids. I'm safe. I have health. I have a certain degree of health care. If I get a heart attack, there's a place to take him to. And until we get there, and if we're not on tenfold energy-wise to fill that gap, every political person, to my opinion, are doing the community service, which I know they got it. I'm just saying that should be the approach in and every day. And because of us, we went from doing well, a couple of great resorts. God bless the Antonius, a great family organization, been there forever. The one up French Harbor there against Cocoa View, and then boom, we're everywhere trying to catch up. Roads don't catch up with that, so on. So everybody realized that. It's just that hopefully we have a great central government, election, and all that. Because when America sneezes, we catch pneumonia.
Let's talk about something really quick. Roatan being small and being insular, as the Spanish word is, an island. I think it has some advantages because of that. If the people we're talking about, people that have grown up here, people that have a vested interest, lead it.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But they need to lead it.
We need to lead it.
The leadership, I don't think, can come from outside. It can't come from the mainland.
No.
They don't get it. And I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing, but it's a different world here.
Yeah. No, they own it. They own it, and I own it. And I may not have political sense, but I own a degree of leadership that I have to set as an example and implement and take. I do own it, and you should own it. Don't be scared of the moment. Don't be scared of being a leader. It's there. I mean, and so I didn't come along this way. I got a friend here, and that's here for the weekend for our inauguration tomorrow. And he's 40 years of friendship. I have friends that I can say 40 years of friendship. It scares me.
It's scary.
When somebody call me sir, I have to be like, they're not talking to me.
Yeah.
But my point is that I come with all this knowledge and experience and not just skating around the way you always got it. One of my most favorite saying is Marcus Aurelius: the obstacle is not an impediment to the way, it is the way. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
And so the obstacles and the shortcomings that you go through is the reason you are to be able to persevere. And because of that, I can look at that young kid that's poor or not, don't have all the things, and I tell him, you can do it. I guarantee you can do it. And don't let you be the reason why you can't grow and expand and meet.
There's a certain amount of that a lot of us face, and that can come
all
from
of us, right?
Insecurity, childhood.
Yeah.
Well, all you got to do is be teased by the wrong person who says, for instance, you can't sing.
Yeah.
And if you can sing,
you don't
know that anymore. Now you're well, I'm going to believe them. But I also think the same thing. You like to build coalitions. You built one here.
Yeah.
You're trying, and you're doing it the same way you do everything. Trying to carefully pick a group of people who get along together. You've seen that in your own working methods as the key to success is not having everybody, it's having the team.
Right, having the team, and you can harp on all and I'm going, we got to add this in anyway. You can harp on all the talking heads on whatever news you want to walk, how you can succeed and how you sow this. But have you put yourself in a position to succeed? What have you done to succeed? And what have you done to grow? And if you don't if you don't know, ask one, reach one, teach one, or whatever, be the change you want to see in others. I can go on all of my favorite phase from Mandela, whoever. And, so yes, you build coalitions, you don't make deals and agreements with bad people that don't keep their word, and keep your word. Your word means so much thing. And if you can't, uphold agreement or call a person, this have happened, I can't, communication is everything. And so yes, the folks around here they keep me on my game. I mean, I named her before, Miss Geneva Alvarez over there. She's sharp as they go.
Yep.
Been here doing her thing. And so when the Coleman Bakers, I mentioned, is coming online, is 40 years of family experience, tradition that weathered all kind of storm. Let them tell you the history, but I know it personally because they're relatives of mine.
Yeah.
And the fact that Milo and Carrie wanted to expand and join us, come down here, we're happy that. And we realized that we're growing, so grow with him and realize there's a yin and yang, but they know that they got a partner that's a partner. We're client partners. Your success, we don't do success individually. Because if you don't succeed, I'm not going to be successful.
You mentioned, Geneva Alvarez, who owns Roatan Vibe. Yeah, she's got a very, very personal vision of how fashion is
supposed personalities too, man, that goes.
And but I think you need that in these kind of instances. Okay, going to completely change this. No marketing talk here. I'm going to ask you a personal question. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great restaurants.
Yeah.
Okay. They change from time to time what your favorite is, but right now, as we speak today, what is your favorite place to go for food when you come here?
Prime. 504.
There you go.
But
you like steak?
Yeah, I like steak.
How do you like yours done?
Medium rare. Because my brother's I have an older brother who was a restaurant, owned a restaurant on South Beach, Grazie Cafe, very famous restaurant. And he would kill me if I was to say anything differently. Now Roatan folks, family,
they want it cooked.
They want it dead twice.
Yeah, but
generally speaking.
How long do you cook it? If you're grilling yourself.
It's about 4 minutes on each side.
4 minutes on each side.
Yeah.
Okay. So our friend Larry McLaughlin, I asked him once, and I'm like, how do you like your steak? And he's like, I want it bloody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, 2 minutes on each side. Salt, nothing but salt and pepper.
Oh,
nothing else.
That's a true steak, because a guy who really loves a good, like myself, the people do these sauce, garlic, mushroom sauce. They want to taste the meat. If it's a quality meat, salt and pepper, maybe a little touch of olive or thyme in there, and that's about it. I mean, that's a steak.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely. But but to answer your question, depending on where I'm at, if I'm down on the beach, I love beaches. As far as I feel like I'm back in an island, Flowers Bay. But I used to grow up as a kid, and these guys and everybody knows me and glad to see me. I am partial to my time I spent at Infinity, because of Rick was one of my best friends that we lost, and I still miss him to this day. And he always treated me immaculately while I was there. And now Grand Roatan is doing some amazing stuff. Kevin, a great friend of mine's, always treated me. I met Mr. Dashner there, mostly got to know him doing the Rotary thing, but didn't have any personal relationship then, and what he has given back to the islands. But so all of these and I don't want to sound like I just mentioned everybody, but those are the ones that are my go-to folks. And I'm on the island. The Sea Salt, love the place too. Mm-hmm. And here and there. And every time I come and there's a new spot, the wife said a new spot is open up. Let's go check them out and show our face and enjoy the meal. And that's another thing that's changed. The quality of culinary places on the island.
Really fast.
Really fast. And you could tell when you go,
it's light speed how quickly that changed.
And you go to these places and you can see this. They thought this out. This was not okay. Give me a burger, do wings, and no. This is again with the history of my older brother being a restaurateur. I have it, and cousins. They all was in that business. So So I'm
all right. Another question. Go to the beach. All right. Tons of great beaches on the island. Lots of stretches of sand.
Right.
Where would you go?
I mean, I got history of West Bay when it was like Blue Lagoon movie, the Castaway.
There was nothing there but palm trees.
Right. I think AKR.
Foster's at one end and nothing at the other.
Yeah, and I remember before that you had AKR they used to take the guests out there, so they had a wharf and bring the guests for a day. I think it was on Wednesday, and because I knew Julio Jr., another friend we lost, and Samir and those guys, and of course Dad, he's close friend of the family, of course. So I used to go down there, I'd hitch a ride and get down and hang out. So, but there's no better beach on the islands than West Bay, what God has created. I mean. Yeah. Camp Bay is nice, but it's a little rough and it's a drop off and what have you. But no, West Bay is, we can go to various man-made beaches around here or, where they bring the sand but no, West Bay is it for me.
Are there any hidden places that people have not found out about yet?
Yeah. I knew of them when I was younger.
Okay.
But no, not you know what? There's always little cuts. I mean, I remember going to Keyhole as a kid.
Yeah.
And there was that little Keyhole bay there that we used to swim in. And of course, you go through the rocks, you get rough.
Right.
But that little bay was cool. We used to walk down for Flowers Bay.
And you'd walk down into the Keyhole and get into the water?
Yeah. The water right there.
Kind of rocky, man.
Yeah, but before, and I remember there used to be a little beach there, lean to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what has happened, all this development. Back in the day, there was a little cold there kind of.
Somebody poured some.
Yeah. I agree. So, but no, I'm just keeping on the famous one. I love going up on the east end to say Pigeon Key, Emerald. Is it Emerald Beach, and those places? Those are amazing. That I didn't get to check out much, but now my brother-in-law here has a nice boat. We go up there a lot. So, I enjoy it all. I am blessed to have my Hamptons in Roatan. This is my Hamptons.
I like that. So why would you invite people to come to Roatan? Just as a guy who lives here, you love the place.
You know what? They get jealous to see me having so much fun on social media, and they get here and they realize, because the coolest person in the world is one who is doing it through Instagram until that's that reality fabricated.
Right.
But they get here, and I've had tons of them come, and they realize, and then everybody, they think it's cool because everybody know my name like I'm somebody that special. But most people knows everybody here.
Yeah.
And Solomon or something like that. So I tell them, but we kind of know each other. So they like to come here, and of course the fact that I can say we're here, hey, I know the manager, or that's a good friend, or that's a guy I know, and really know him,
Sure.
but that's not, you guys do it all the time. You guys go around these places, they know you are, so, but for them, it's kind of impressive.
I want you to invite somebody who's never been to the island, doesn't know anything about it. They're watching somebody forwarded this video to them.
Oh, well, I got a few. I got Gilchrist Bailey. He's originally from Albany, Georgia. I got Russell Johnson in Dallas, Texas. That I have a strong clique of fans friends and military friends that were in Homestead Air Force Base in the late 80s, 90s. And so they all want to come down. I got Chuck Hess, who's owns the Cigar Inn in Belleville, Illinois. Come on down. I got tons and tons. I got JT Taylor there in Louisiana.
And they're just hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out. They go too busy going to Cartagena or whatever they can do it. But they can always come down here and hang out. And I'm sure I got a cousin, David Palmer, who is family's from here, but ain't been in 20, 30 years. Come on down. Just make sure I'm here so I can take care of you. I got Mike Ford, who went to Saudi, who was in there in Orlando, Florida. Come on down, guys, and enjoy this island.
And check out this beautiful place.
Yeah, check out this beautiful place. I promise you, you're going to leave here giving Sergeant Rico's a 5-star.
Freddie, thanks, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Good to see you. Thank you, man. It was cool. Yeah.